I remember that we lived in the country, on a corner surrounded by cornfields, corn stalks standing in strict rows, as if congregated together in sorrow, bowing and whispering softly among themselves to be respectful. I remember our home, the squat converted one-room schoolhouse, with cracks like wrinkles etched across whitewashed cement, deep windowsills wide enough to sit in, and furniture reaped from auction sales, church pews and washstands and bedroom bureaus. And I can see my mother now as she was then, younger and thinner, hair tied back with a worn handkerchief, wiping sweat from her eyes with the back of her wrist. My mother sanding and staining antiques, smoothing the surfaces to a mirror sheen so richly hued wood spirits could and would dance within the varied grains. And the odor of country cooking, honey, spice, hot paraffin wax. I remember coughing from the corrosive reek of vinegar while canning pickles in the kitchen. All this returns, and more still, a succession of moments unearthed like artifacts from my own lost history. The crippled with rust swing beside the sandbox that sang as I swung, the kicked up dust from the road that settled on every leaf and blade, the sharp tang of fresh-picked mint on the tip of the tongue, the thousand nicks and scratches of childhood play. I knew the character of every tree, and I knew the climbing technique required of each, and I'd sit in the uppermost branches to see the countryside spread out like a patchwork quilt. Leaves whispered to me in strange tongues. And pig shit, cow shit, shit smells everywhere, insinuated even within the weave of my clothes. So still now the occasional country drive is assaulted by clear glass memories released by the key of fecal aroma. And in the backyard, cordoned off by this fence of thick black chain, was a cemetery of some 100 plots left over from a once church long since burned down. Beneath the tombstones, which were like brutal teeth stuck tight in strong grass gums, lay children plucked by epidemics, cut down like flowers before blooming. And I gazed in wonder at lambs and cherubs chiseled in stone, slowly eroding over these forgotten infants. The environment was a symphony, alive, awake, oblivious to the overwhelming silence of the dead or asleep just 6 feet deep. The hum of bees, the quiet roar of distant passing cars, the rhythm of the so-hot sun beating on my little boy back. And I remember in summer days, my father propped against his double bass, as if caressing the resonant flesh of a red-resined woman to coax her to moan in the lowest tones. And I, alone in the cemetery, would pick wild strawberries, which flourished in the rich soil on the raised mounds. They were so small, you know. I picked hundreds to fill a single coffee cup. And I remember now, with the antiquated clockworks of childhood logic still keeping time in the dusty back rooms of my adult mind, I was convinced that the strawberry juice staining red my tiny pink fingers was the blood of those below, and that the tiny berries I consumed contained the reincarnations of their little lost souls.